Alright, what's poppin', people? Welcome in. This is BigBearFoundation.com back here with another video. And let's go ahead and get dive already into it, because you guys know you guys been here for a long time. If you guys are new here to the channel, welcome here to the week 5 analytics predictions. Remember, in these videos we're going to break down deeper into the games. We are also going to be giving you my pick against the spread, my final score, and what I'm actually predicting, or what am I actually expecting to see from each matchup this week. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you guys can join the Discord, all that fun stuff. Lots of content already coming out here on the channel. A lot of content getting ready to be made with the NBA season coming up. MLB playoffs are starting. I have a couple reactions to that. I probably will do a live reaction show on that as well. And like I said, if you guys haven't joined NFL live reaction shows every single Tuesday, make sure you guys come in for that. Minecraft Monday, Smash Bros Saturday, all that fun stuff. And I do think I am going to get an NCAA stream coming up soon. But coming up with my individual performance of week 4, my regular season picks record. Like I said, I'm trying to finish under 100 in both categories. That is my goal. So my goal is basically to get. My goal is to get at least 25 losses in the next 4 weeks. That's kind of like my goal here. And I know that's pretty difficult. If I can do that, I can probably finish like 95, 96, 97, which I kind of want to be at. But right now, regular picks record, I will say that we are on pace doing that 39-25. Not a bad first 4 weeks, but we have to pick up the second 4 weeks. We're 11-5 last week. That was definitely a bounce back after my week 2 performance. It really let me down. That went 7-9. So, and then overall, the spread picks record, I'm 34-30 right now. I went 10-6 last week. I think there was a couple of things that we could have bounced back on. So I actually took some risky picks with that last week, but yeah, so I'm 34-30 right now, 10-6. If you guys haven't been with us in recent videos, you know we do the best, the worst, the trickiest, the 1-point game, and the ass beating of the week. Those are awards that we give out throughout the video. So some of these games you guys might agree with me with, some of you guys might disagree with. I think it just really depends how you guys feel on each matchup for this week, and if you guys really agree with me or not. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get it going, right? Let's go ahead and dive and get into it. Let's take a look at the standings here. Like I said, nothing really matters right now. We're only 4 weeks into the season, which I would think it's the first quarter, because, you know, first 4 weeks is the fourth quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. We're almost kind of near the end of the first quarter of the season. So these are the standings right now. Like I said, nothing to really overreact, but NFC, we did see a couple teams move up here on the leaderboard, but there you have it. There's a leaderboard in the NFC. Take a look at the NFC. Oh my god, NFC, and then take a look at the AFC. This is what the standings looks like right now. Like I said, 1 through 7 makes the playoffs. So if you're in the 1 through 7 positioning right now, you guys will make the playoffs if the season ended today. So there you have it. There's your AFC and NFC standings. And then this week officially starts the bye week teams. You know, we got the Lions, we got the Titans, Chargers, Eagles, all these teams taking byes this week, taking the early rest, being the first 4 teams to take a rest here. If I'm being honest, I do think the Eagles need this bye the most, because they're kind of doing the majority. They're banged up on offense. Lions, I don't think the Lions really, I mean, the Lions could use it, but I don't think they really need it. Chargers, Titans, I don't know what to think about teams. Chargers could, I don't know, I think this was a bad time for the Chargers. Coming off their first win last week. Maybe they killed some momentum there, and then the Chargers just regulars. I don't think the Chargers, this probably really means anything for the Chargers, but, so there you have it. There's your 4 teams on the bye, taking a break this week. Next week, officially, you will see my Rams in this category. But my Rams, I believe my Rams are on the bye next week after this week. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get it going here with that Thursday Night Football. Lions, Titans, Chargers, Eagles. Enjoy the bye this week. Enjoy the only one. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get it going here. Alrighty, Thursday Night Football here. Like I said, we had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Atlanta Falcons, and like I said, from now on we will be keeping the retros logo, which means if you run retros, I'll keep it in for the analytics video moving forward. But when you take a look at these two teams and their matchups, the Buccaneers are coming off a complete domination performance against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles just couldn't really do anything offensively against them. Atlanta's coming off a very stressful loss, as you could say. I guess you would call it a stressful loss. I mean, actually no, very stressful win. Yeah, never mind. They're coming off a win against New Orleans. At a last second win in New Orleans, they trailed for the majority of that game, but I forgot they kicked the last minute field goal, and they ended up winning that game. But when you take a look at these two teams in general, I'm expecting a really fun game from these two. I'm expecting Baker and Kirk to light it up in both on offensive ends. I think we're going to see good defensive plays from both Atlanta and Tampa Bay, and that's why I think this game is like. This game was almost my game of the week. Honestly, I think this game is easily matched up. Both of these two teams have equal talent. Both of these two teams have really high expectations for the wide receivers. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, I'm expecting them to be themselves. Drake London, Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts could have an off night in this one, but I am kind of expecting him to have a good night as well. And then both defenses going to make plays. Buccaneers defense looked fantastic last week. Atlanta's defense just did enough for them to get the win last week over the Saints, but I don't know. I think this was one of my trickier games of the week. This was almost one of my trickier games of the week. But if I'm being honest, I think this game go back and forth. It will be a good one. It will be a great one. But I decided to go with the Buccaneers in this one, 27-24, and I'm taking the Buccaneers with the plus 1.5. Like I said, like I said in recent videos, if you guys take the underdog, that means you have to take them with the spread no matter what. So in this occasion, I am taking the Bucks plus 1.5. I think they come in here, get the job done here in Atlanta. This one will be difficult though. You know, Atlanta wearing their retros again. Actually, Atlanta's retros look really nice. I'll give a key on that one. Kirk Cousins have a great game for Atlanta. Kind of expecting their offense to get down the field, move the ball. Same thing with Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Expect them to have great nights. Auden, expect him to really get going the offensive end as well. Should be a fast-moving game here, kind of a normal game here, like a game of football you expect. Good defensive plays from both teams, good offensive plays from both teams. That's why this pick took me a long time to decide on, because both teams I think are exactly even. Both teams are capable of showing offense and great defensive plays. But at the end of the day, I'm going with the Buccaneers here at 27-24. I think they've been the slightly better team going into this matchup. With this game being Atlanta, I can definitely see the Falcons winning this game, but I'm gonna trust my gut here. I went with the Buccaneers. But this should be a hell of a game. This should be a great game to start off. Thursday night football. Expect this one to be a field goal kicking game, but I also do think field goals is going to be a key component in this game, because both teams could even miss the field goal, or one team's making mistakes. I do think the other team will take advantage of and win that game. So there you have it, 27-24. Take the Bucks with the points, but I would kind of stay away from that one if I make completely honest. Like if you're betting money on it, stay away from this one. But this should be a great Thursday night game. Alright, let's go ahead and move our next game here, and this is the Tea and Crumpets game of the season, or Tea and Crumpets game of the year. We have the Jets, we have the Vikings here going at it. As you guys can tell, this is my trickiest game of the week, so let's just go ahead and show that award for you guys. We have the trickiest game of the week, and it's going to the Jets, it's going to the Vikings game. With this game, I know this game is being played at a soccer field, but this game is actually in London. I actually like playing games in London. I think it's just, I think this one can go either way. Jets are coming out that kind of embarrassing performance overall against the Denver Broncos. They did not look good in one scenario in that game. Very disappointed about their performance in that one. Anyway, take a look at the Minnesota Vikings. I love the way the team just continues to dominate. They look like one of the better teams in football all around. This team looks great. It looks fluid. Their offense looks fluid. Their defense still looks menacing, even though they did kind of let that go in the fourth quarter. But I don't blame them. Like they've been playing well all night. Defense has been going at it all season. Offense has been one of the more consistent offenses in football. And the Jets, maybe we do explain about the Jets, and maybe we do say that they are a little bit uncharacteristic, because I think everybody did expect the Jets to be better than what they are right now, which is understandable. But in this matchup, I'm going to take the Vikings on this one, 24-20. I am expecting the Jets defense to bounce back a little bit. Maybe give a little bit problems to Sam Darnold. Maybe give a little bit problems to that Vikings offense. Maybe they get used to it. But I will take the Vikings with the points, minus 2.5. I think that's too small. If we're thinking about like 3, 4, 5. Well, no, if we're thinking about like 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, probably lean towards the Jets on that one. But I'll take the Vikings with the points and the win, 24-20. I am expecting this to be a good one as well. Games playing in London, I think both teams step up. Well, I think we already know what we're going to see from the Vikings, right? Their offense has been consistent, and their defense has been consistent as hell. But my key concern lies with the Jets. Like, can Aaron Rodgers be consistent? Can Garrett Wilson have a bounce back game? Can Breece Hall continue what he's doing? Can Allen Lazard really get going in the offensive end? That's going to be the key thing going here for the Jets. Like, can they be consistent as the Vikings? Now, if the Jets can be consistent as the Vikings, they do have the team to beat the Vikings here, because I still consider the Jets as a really good football team. So if the defense do step up, which I am kind of expecting them to do, they could really force a lot of pressure on this Minnesota Vikings offense, and they could really put them in panic mode. But I don't think that's going to happen. Like I said, this Vikings team has been way too consistent. Their offense is moving at a fluid pace all season long. With Sam Darnold leading the rock, they have too many good wide receivers. Jordan Addison's been good. Justin Jefferson's been amazing. And even without T.J. Hockenson, like I said, I know he's not playing in this game, but I do think the Vikings get this edge for me. But this was definitely a tricky game, just because I'm expecting a bounce back performance from the Jets, and I'm expecting Aaron Rodgers to play better, way better than the way he did last week. So got the Vikings here 20-20. I'll take them minus 2.5. I think this game just comes down to which team is the more consistent team here, and I thought that was the Vikings. Even though the Vikings don't have the bank for this one, even though it's a home game for them, I do think I am expecting the Vikings to treat this like it is the bank. So take the Vikings 20-20, and this game should be a fun one. Sunday morning in London should be a very entertaining one there. All right, next up we have the Panthers taking on the Chicago Bears. Panthers coming off a pretty good effort against the Bengals. They did all they could, but it's unfortunate that they kind of ran out of gas, because I was kind of rooting for Carolina in that game. Bears coming off of a good, impressive defensive showing against my Rams. They ended up beating my Rams. Like I said, I'm not happy about that, but they walk away with the win against my Rams. Go to 2-2 on the season. With this game, I'm not really expecting too much out of this game, because I am kind of expecting this game to be kind of in and out a little bit. You guys know what I mean. Like, offense does show up. Defense, both defenses. Actually, I'll talk about the defenses first in this game. We already know we're going to get. We already know we're going to get at the Bears defense, right? Bears defense has actually been really good this season. They've been done a good job against the pass, good against the run. I'm really like what I'm seeing out of this Bears defense, man. Like, they've been shutting it down some good offensive teams. Take a look at the Panthers. As crazy as this might sound, I don't think the Panthers defense is that bad either. They've shown it with recent matchups that they can contend on defense. They can force a couple stops. They can make teams punt. I think their defense does a really good job of keeping them staying in the games. But when you take a look at this game in general, it's in Chicago. Caleb Williams should do nice. DJ Moore should get a little bit going on the offensive end. Panthers, Herbert, the running back Herbert, I can't pronounce his name, but I'm expecting him to have a decent night. There's a lot of ways that you can take a look at the Carolina Panthers. This is actually Andy Dalton's revenge game, if anyone's wondering. But I really wanted to pick the Panthers here. I kind of wanted to lean it towards them. I did want to say that Carolina gets the job done here on the road, just because I do think Carolina is getting a little bit more chemistry in there. I think they're starting to become a little bit more of consistent and good, consistent defensive team. But I'm going to go with the Bears on this one, 21-17. I am definitely expecting this game to be kind of mediocre scoring. Like I said, both plays, I think we're going to see from offense, defensive end. I think we're going to see a lot of good defensive ways with both these two teams. And I think we're going to see some good offensive showing from these two teams as well. But with these two teams being a little bit uncharacteristic at the offensive end, just a tiny bit, I do trust both defenses to make plays, and I think this one's going to be more of a defensive game. But I will take the Bears 21-17. Take the Bears as well with the points minus 3.5. But this one should be a pretty good game. It should be pretty fun. I expect this one to be pretty. I mean, honestly, I think this is a pretty even matchup here. But I'm gonna go with the Bears. I trust their offense more, and I trust their defense to make more plays than Carolina. Both these two teams' defense will make plays, but I like the Bears' defense a little bit more. I like what I've been seeing out of them a little bit more. That I just give them the size to the Bears. But this should be a really good game. Should be good. Should be close. Should be competitive. But at the end of the day, I'm giving the slight edge to the Chicago Bears. Especially with this game being in Chicago, is gonna help the Bears a lot in this one. All right, next up we have the Ravens and the Bengals. All right. Let's take about these two teams for a moment. This actually was pretty close from being my best game of the week because I'm kind of expecting this one to be kind of a movie. Ravens coming off a dominating Sunday night performance against the Bills. I think the Ravens are actually starting to perform like the Baltimore Ravens that we all know and love. The Cincinnati Bengals coming off their first win of the season, being Carolina. In Carolina, not anything shocked in that degree. I think we all expected that to happen. The Ravens defense is going to be the key in this game. I think both defenses are going to be the key in this game. Obviously, we already know what we're going to see from both offenses. If you guys have a look at the offenses that these two teams have been providing so far this year, it's been great. Well, you can say that about the Ravens. I don't know if you can say that about the Bengals though, but both offenses are going to show up, right? We already know we're going to get out of Ravens. We already know we're going to get Lamar, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers should be able to bounce back. Definitely get the Bengals defense secondary. And I'm wondering if the tight ends are going to get going at all. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. I want to say that one of them gets involved in this game, but I'm not going to say it. I love how Bateman. I love the way how he's been really motivated in the offense. I like that a lot. I think he's a really underrated player. Zay Flowers, like I said, I'm expecting Zay Flowers to have a bounce back game. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, like I said, we already know we're going to get out of those. For the Bengals too, I'm expecting Joe to play all right. I don't know if Joe Burrow is actually going to play that good because Baltimore's defense as a whole is really good. So there could be some trouble here for Joe Burrow, but I'm expecting Jamar Chase to have a big game. I'm expecting T. Higgins to have a big game. I'm expecting their tight end to really have a bounce back game in this one. But in individual with this game, I think this game, like I said, we already know what we're going to see from both these two teams offensively. I think both of these two teams have really good offenses, or should have really good offenses. And I think this game is going to come down to defense because I think both of these two offenses are really good. I think it's going to be kind of a higher scoring game here. But I'm trusting the Ravens defense more. Bengals secondary is still one of the worst in the league. I just don't like what I've been seeing from the Bengals. They've been getting their ass beat recently on the running game and the receiving, especially the receiving game. Like I said, their secondary is terrible. It's probably one of the worst secondaries I think I've ever seen. So that's why I'm going to take the Ravens because I do think Lamar is going to throw the ball. He should have an efficient night throwing the football. He's going to find their guys. He's going to score touchdowns. Derrick Henry's going to score touchdowns. And with them scoring touchdowns and me not trusting the Bengals defense, I think I'm going to get the side to the Ravens because I don't know what we're going to see out of Cincinnati's defense. Maybe Cincinnati's defense does surprise us. Their secondary performs nice, but I have no faith in their secondary, man. Like I know the Ravens' secondary is good. I don't think the Bengals' secondary is really that good, and I think that's something that's really going to cost them in this matchup. Even though I'm taking the Ravens here at 28-21, and take Baltimore with the points as well, minus 2.5. That's a little bit too small, but. The only reason I'm taking the Ravens here is because I do not trust the Cincinnati secondary. I think they're going to get whooped by Baltimore's receivers, meaning I do think they are going to score more touchdowns in Cincinnati, and therefore why. And I know it's not ideal for the Bengals to start 1-4, but I just gotta for the Bengals, I just gotta see it to believe it. I gotta see that their secondary is good enough to contend. And Carolina actually threw up a little bit on them too, which kind of worries me a little bit for this game, especially playing against a offense like the Baltimore Ravens and what performance they showed last week. So therefore, I'll take the Ravens. I just think there's a lot of things that they execute better on than Cincinnati, but game should be pretty interesting there. But give the side edge to the Baltimore Ravens on this one. All right, next up we have the Dolphins and the Patriots, and we can just go ahead and lock this in because I think this one's pretty obvious. This is by far the worst game of the week. I mean, I don't think there is a worse matchup than I think we're gonna watch here this week. Both of these two teams are not playing good football right now. Dolphins offense, Dolphins looks like they don't even have an offense right now. Patriots look like the Patriots, and who we all expected to like be terrible is the New England Patriots, and they're not even performing that good either. If I'm being honest, I don't even care if this game's in Foxborough. I think this game's going to be a hot mess. I think this game's really going to come down to offense. But I will say something positive. I mean, even though I don't really have anything positive to say about this game, I will say one thing, and I will say that both defenses should have a night because I'm expecting this to be a low scoring game. Meaning both defenses, I think is really going to have a big impact of the night. But when you look at this game in general, come on, what are you really expecting from this game offensively? Like Miami does have the better talent offensively in my opinion, but Miami's offense has really looked bad these last 2 weeks, and I don't know if they're going to keep that up and get the Patriots even. Like the Dolphins, I'm very disappointed in their offense. I think they're last in the league in total yards of offense so far in this NFL season, which is very disappointing because they're my offensive team this season. Now I know Tua is injured, but I don't think that matters. You still have Skylar Huntley. He showed that he could play, so you would think the Dolphins should be able to be good. Like their offense will be at least not as good as with Tua, but at least a little bit decent. And we're looking at the Patriots. They had one impressive performance against the Bengals, and then ever since then, they have looked like the Patriots that we all expected. Maybe not week 2, but week 3 and 4, they looked kind of similar than what we all advertised them to be. But like I said, I think this game is going to be boring. Not a lot of high scoring here. Expect both defenses to make plays, but expect both defenses to have a night. But I will take the Patriots to win this one 13-10. That's my final score, 13-10. Not expecting offense here at all. Take New England with the points as well, -1.5. That's a little bit too low of a pick 'em spread there for me to take the Dolphins. But yeah, I'll take the Patriots just because they're at home. I mean, that's kind of the only reason why I have here because they're at home. And if this game was in Miami, I'd probably go with the Dolphins because 13-10. But I'll go with I'll take the Patriots here at home. Dolphins. Now, if the Dolphins offense did look at least a little bit consistent, I probably would go with them honestly because, like I said, the Patriots have looked like we all know the Patriots should be this season. But I gotta go with the Patriots on this one because I don't know, just because they're the home team and I'm kind of expecting a little bit more out of their offense than what I'm seeing right now in Miami's. But I don't know, I can't even highlight any players in this matchup because I don't know what to expect from either of these two teams offensively or defensively. But my gut's telling me the Patriots, so my gut's telling me to stick with the Patriots, and I guess that's my answer. We're going with the Patriots. 13-10, taking -1.5, but this is obviously the worst game of the week, and I don't even think that's a question. Alright, next up we have the Browns and Washington. If I'm being honest, I think this, as you can see, this is the ass beating of the week according to me, which we'll get into that word in a minute. But can we please give respect to Washington? Like, Washington, they deserve any respect that they can, man. Washington has been out here kicking the shit out of teams. Their offense looks dynamic. Their defense has been playing way better than I thought it was going to be advertised. I mean, just look at Washington. They're out here playing good football. Like, I know it's probably a little bit early to say this, but I probably will say this because this is actually true. This is actually probably the best Washington Commanders team. I'm talking not from the Redskins, from the team as like the Washington Commanders. This is probably the best team we've seen them as they be so far as a name of the Commanders. If you guys know what I mean. Meanwhile, looking at the Browns, the Browns continue to be sloppy. You know, they lost that game against the Raiders. I thought that pick was gonna come back to bite me last week, but it didn't. Browns look way too sloppy offensively right now. Defensively, I do still have trust in that defense, even though their offense was sloppy. I still love the way how they moved the ball offensively. And might as well just go ahead and lock this in because I'm pretty sure this is what this is, and this is what actually was pretty obvious going into this week. This is the ass beating of the week. I do expect both defenses to make plays. You know, you can't ever just you can't ever count out the Browns defense. Browns defense is going to make plays. I think Myles Garrett is going to be back for this game. But here's the thing with the Browns. I'm not expecting for anything out of them offensively. Just look at the Browns offense. The Browns offense has been terrible this year. They can't move the football. And I know Amari Cooper got going a little bit. Ford got a little bit going in that offense. But I just don't trust Deshaun Watson, man. Deshaun Watson, he looks like one of the worst quarterbacks in football. Definitely don't trust that matchup. Me looking at Washington, Jaden Daniels is absolutely killing it. I think right now he's my rookie of the year candidate. He looks like he's gonna break all sorts of records. Terry McLaurin's really get going in the offense now. Great to see that. Brian Robinson Jr. doing his thing. And just the Commanders as a team. Zach Ertz getting a little bit involved in the offense. Just love what you're watching at the Commanders, man. Their offense looks good. It looks fluid. It looks like they know what they're doing. They're out there. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They're having fun. And that's why I think Washington's just going to take advantage of that. I have Washington win this game. Like I said, my ass beating of the week. Washington wins this game 31-12. I'm not expecting really anything from the Browns offense. I was going to say 31-10, but I thought it'd be nice to say 31-12. I'm expecting the Browns to all kick field goals here. I'm not expecting them to score any touchdowns, and yes, obviously I'm taking Washington minus 3.5. I think that's a no-brainer. I think this one is pretty obvious from here. Like I said, this is my ass beating of the week. But yeah, take Washington with all pride on this one. Like I said, they're playing with a lot of confidence and playing with a lot of momentum. Even though I'm expecting both plays from both defenses, I just don't have any faith in the Browns offense, especially with Deshaun Watson back there. I just don't have any faith for them for them to really get down the field and score. But just because of that reason, I'm going with the Commanders. I think the Commanders are the prettiest obvious pick here. Washington you guys should be able to take care of this one at home and a beating as well. That's why you guys are my ass beating of the week. And if I mean, that's one thing. I didn't think I will come down to say this. I didn't think this game will be my ass beating of the week, but it is, and give credit to Washington. They deserve it. All right, I'll turn my light on here for a minute. All right, next up we have the Colts taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Jaguars are wearing the retros, but we can say this about the Jacksonville Jaguars, but all right, the Colts coming off. What are the Colts coming off of? Colts coming off of a frustrating loss in their last outing. Their offense did not really look that good last game. Actually, no, never mind. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of that game against the Packers. But anyway, never mind. The Colts are coming off of a pretty convincing win against the Steelers. You know, their offense looked way better than I thought it was going to be. Meanwhile, looking at Jacksonville Jaguars, they have looked rough the last few weeks. They have looked atrocious. Offense looks like can't find its rhythm. But one thing that we can say about Jacksonville, I know this team probably looks like the worst team in football right now, which is actually pretty fair to say that this team has been looking like one of the worst teams in football. But there's one thing that you can say positive about the Jaguars is their defense played as well as they did against Miami in week one. Their offense is starting to get into rhythm a little bit. Trevor Lawrence, I think he looked a lot more comfortable last game against Houston. Christian Kirk got going a little bit. Brian Thomas Jr., I think he got going a little bit. And expect those guys to have big nights. But here's the thing about the Colts. I don't think the Colts are a good road team. I think the Colts have a very long history of not being a good road team, and I think that's something that's going to come back to bite them here. So, otherwise, I do understand if you guys are taking the Colts, because the Colts, they are the better team going into this game. They have a lot more offensive fluid. Now, here's the thing with the Colts. Who is playing? I know Joe Flacco is a good option off the bench if Anthony Richardson's not playing, but you have him questionable. You have Jonathan Taylor questionable. I believe Michael Pittman Jr. is questionable. Who the hell is going to play for the Colts? If all these guys are out, take Jacksonville with ease, right? You take Jacksonville. But if these guys are all playing, maybe you might switch with the Colts. But I'm gonna take the Jags here, honestly. We're at home, we're in those retros. I have faith in Jacksonville. I'm not done with them yet, even though they are 0-4 and the only team that is winless. I still have faith in Jacksonville Jaguars. I do think they come out, win this game at home in the retros, 20-16, and they will win this game. And I'm not even honest, I am kind of surprised that Jacksonville was favored in this game according to Vegas. I was surprised. I thought the Colts will by far be the favorites in this one, but I'm gonna take the Colts minus 2.5. I like them going into this matchup. Like I said, at home, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to play a great game, especially all the receivers I mentioned. Travis Etienne, I'm expecting him a big night as well. But here's the thing, like I said, I don't. If the Colts do end up playing their guys, Anthony Richardson should have a good game. Jonathan Taylor should have a big game on the ground. Michael Pittman Jr. should have a very effective night through the air. But that's if all those guys are playing. We don't know who's going to be playing for the Colts yet, so that's why I'm taking the Jags. That's another reason. Plus, like I said recently, the Colts have never been a good road team. So overall, I will stick here with the Jags. I do think their defense steps up. Maybe gets a couple turnovers and stuff, which is going to lead them for extra possessions to get downfield and score. So for that reason, we're going with the Jacksonville Jaguars in this matchup to get their first NFL season win of the season. All right, next we have the Bills and the Texans, and God, this game is gonna be good, man. It's gonna be fucking good. This game is gonna be crazy. It's gonna go up in the air. This is gonna be a fantastic game. We might as well just go ahead and lock this in. This is by far the best game of the week award. I think this one's not even close. Houston's wearing the retros. I mean, maybe there is some close. Maybe there are some contenders for best game of the week, but I review this as my best game of the week. Both teams are 3-1. Both teams coming off bounce back performances. This game is in Houston, which kind of scares me a little bit for the Bills because this game is on the road. But taking a look at the Bills themselves, they got their ass kicked in last week by the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're going to be taking that physically and mentally. They're going to be taking that to their throat, and I think they are going to do a very great job of responding here on the road. Now, the Bills do have a very questionable on the injury report with Shakir. I think Dalton Kincaid is a little bit banged up, but I'm expecting both of them to play. I mean, James Cook, I'm expecting him to have his best night. And guess what? Josh Allen versus Stephon Diggs. They match up again. They see each other again, but this time just on a different team. Maybe look at the Texans. They should be thinking about bounce back in themselves. And I am calling this a bounce back here for the for the Texans, even though they won because they did not play good at all against Jacksonville. I thought Jacksonville completely outworked them from start to finish of that game, but Houston just barely got away. With the win, that's why I'm calling this a bounce back game here for the Jags. Even though I think for the Texans, even though I think we're all expecting what we're seeing from the Texans, we're in the retros. That's going to be very nice to see. Offense, CJ Stroud should have a bounce back game. Just look at all those receivers in general. Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins is continuing to be Nico Collins. Nico Collins has actually been really good for the Texans going into this year. But my pick on this one, I think Buffalo's loss to the Ravens was so bad that they come in here and take out all their physical and mental frustrations, and they're going to take it out on Houston. But yes, this is the best game of the week, and I do have the Bills winning this one 30-28. This is going to be an absolute fantastic game. By the end of the day, I believe in Josh Allen. I think he's going to have a massive bounce back game against that performance. And he didn't even perform that bad versus the Ravens. I do think he's going to have a bounce back game. Believe in the Bills. I think their offense has been more consistent. But that's my really reasoning. I'm taking the Bills because I do think they're the more consistent football team. I don't think the Texans have been playing at their complete level just yet. I think we all expect the Texans to play. And the Bills, they've been playing consistent great football all year long, except for the game that we have saw last week, and they're unsurprised ass whooping against the Ravens, which I thought was going to be the ultimate fight of the century. Even though, take the Bills in this one, plus 1.5. Expect their whole team to bounce back. Defense, offense, everybody. And even though the Texans are a really good team as well, and they definitely will give the Bills a challenge, but I like the Bills. They take this one physically, mentally, like I said. They take all their physical and mental frustrations and then take it on the Houston Texans. That's why I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. They get revenge here in Houston. But this one is going to be a great game. Get your popcorn out, ladies and gentlemen. This one's going to be a show. All right, next up, Raiders, Denver. I don't know about this game, man. I just don't know. Devontae Adams is going to be out for this game for the Raiders. I do believe Max Crosby is coming out for this game. Is going to be at this game for Vegas, but I'm not really sure. Like I look at this game and I'm like, I don't know what to expect. What do you really expect from this game? Sure, Vegas got some key opponents defensively and offensively that you can count on, but same thing to Denver. And Denver, actually, I will say this about the Broncos. I actually love the way how their defense has been playing these last couple of weeks. I thought their defense has been on point, on tact. Now I know their offense isn't as good. Neither of these two teams' offenses are that good, but I love the way how Denver's defense has been absolutely balling out. Now we do have to give credit where it's due. Denver's defense, like I said just now, their defense has been balling out. But I do think that this game being a home with the Retros too, I do think that is going to help the Broncos out a lot in this matchup. I am expecting the Broncos offense to get moving a little bit on Vegas defense. Knowing that we saw somewhat of idea last week that somewhat last week that their offense can get into rhythm in the movement. Also, Vegas coming off a sloppy win against the Browns. Broncos coming off a surprising win at New York. Like I said, I do give a lot of credit for their defense. I gave a lot of credit to their defense last game, and I do think the Broncos defense. I think both these two defenses are actually going to have a big night. Raiders defense showing that they're not really a bad defensive team either. So I expect both teams to do some great things defensively. I do think the Raiders missing Devontae Adams is really gonna better for them here of their chances of winning. Like I said, this is my 1 point game of the week. Go ahead and lock it in. This is my 1 point game of the week, and guys, the old-fashioned score is coming out for this one. You guys ready? And I think you guys remember this score because I said a lot this about last week. The Broncos are winning this game 17-16. It's an old classic score. That's right. It is back. They win this game 17-16. But I am going to take the Raiders with the plus 2.5 because I have two reasons for that. This is my 1 point game of the week. So if I had the 1 point game of the week, I have to go with the Raiders on the pick'em spread. And two, this could be a win here for the Raiders. The Raiders could definitely win this game. I'm not going to say that it's impossible for the Raiders to win this game. I think it's possible, but I just think they'll fall short here by a couple points. So take the Broncos 17-16. Take them plus 2.5. But this should be a pretty even defensive battle here. I think both teams have equal amount of talent. But at the end of the day, go with the Broncos. I trust their defense more. All right, next up we have the Cardinals taking on the Niners. This game I'm kind of expecting to be a lot of fun too. Just look at these two teams matchup as a whole. Cardinals did look a little uncharacteristic last game, especially in my regard. What I was expecting, they did look a little bit uncharacteristic. They look like a little bit out of sorts. San Francisco, they went right back to being the San Francisco 49ers that we all know and love. They went in this building and just beat the living shit out of the Patriots, which we all expect that to happen. But look at this matchup in general. Now, I will say a couple things about this game that I'm really looking forward to. One, I'm expecting the Cardinals offense to bounce back. Meaning, if the Cardinals do want to win this game, Kyler Murray is going to have to play his ass off. And because we saw what the Niners are going to do defensively. And plus, this is actually kind of confusing too, because the Cardinals beat the shit out of the Rams, but the Niners lost to the Rams. So that is kind of confusing when you look at that regard and look at these two teams in general. But like I said, if the Cardinals want to win this game, Kyler Murray has to play his ass off, and he definitely has to be better than what he was last week. James Conner, he has to be better than he was last week. This Niners rush defense is really good, meaning I think a lot of pressure is going to be on him. So if the Cardinals want to win, those two players are going to be the key things to watch for, because I do think them two are going to have a massive performance if the Cardinals want any chance of winning this game. And I am definitely rooting for the Cardinals to win this by far. And I know these two are the division rivals, but I'm rooting for the Cardinals to win this game no matter what. Also, Marvin Harrison Jr., he has to continue. He needs to get more active in the second half. I do think he's a deadly receiver for San Francisco. He can definitely do some things in that regard. We look at the Niners. What do you expect? Everybody's going to have a decent game for the Niners. For the Niners, because the Cardinals' defense is not really that good, especially in the secondary. So, Jawan Jennings, Debo coming back, I'm expecting to have a bigger outing, even though I can't blame him for last game, because last game he returned for the first time coming off injury, so I'm not going to blame him for that. But I am expecting him to have a big night here. Jennings, Mason, Purdy, Kittles, I'm expecting all of them to have great nights on this one. With this one being in San Francisco, I do think you do have to get the size to the Cardinals, but meanwhile, I can see the Cardinals competing, man. I want to say that the Cardinals throw up a fight, and I actually do think that they will. I think their offense will show up a little bit at times, maybe give an early scare in the game or a late scare. Are going to be one of the two. But I'm gonna take the Niners to win this game 28-18. I think the Cardinals defense has a lot to have to watch for here, especially like I said with the receiving game of Debo being back in there. We all know Jennings is capable of doing what he's doing. Kittle's, you have to worry about him as well. And I just think the Niners have too many options here for the Cardinals to really get involved defensively. I think the Cardinals have a lot to watch for defensively. I am expecting the Cardinals to throw some points and drive, but I don't think it's going to be enough, as I think San Francisco is going to do that. So I'll take the Niners here 28-17, and taking San Francisco minus 7.5, which I believe is the biggest spread of the week. I do think that is a little bit risky, but I'm willing to take it. So take the Niners. Don't be safe with this one. Cardinals can easily cover the spread, but I like the Niners on this one, taking them with the points, taking them with the win too. But like I said, I'm rooting for the Cardinals. I hope I get this one wrong, but I don't think I'm going to. I'll take the Niners. All right, next we have the Packers taking on my Los Angeles Rams. Packers kind of got their ass beat last game, but I'm not going to specifically say that because they did bounce back in the end and get the win. Me looking at my Rams, we unfortunately lost to the Bears. We just couldn't execute in the red zone, and I think that's another thing that's going to come down to this game. When you take a look at the executing this game in the red zone, I think the Packers are a lot better at executing throughout the red zone than the Los Angeles Rams. And it's kind of unfortunate for me to say that, but because I'm a Rams fan and I'm not picking my team. Again, here, if you guys haven't checked out the picks video with the subs, make sure you guys could do that because you guys already know my result, but you guys expect to watch this video. But man, I really wanted to pick the Rams here. I was kind of back and forth on this one. This does, some people actually say this is a potential as being in the week. Like Packers, Jordan Love is going to be more comfortable. Here's the reason why I'm not picking the Rams. Jordan Love is going to be more comfortable. Jayden Reed, it's all going to have big nights. Romeo Dobbs, I think, is about to have a big night. Love, I've been seeing out of Kraft, and that's what I'm kind of at with this game, and kind of like what I said about the Cardinals and Niners game. I think the Rams are going to have a lot to watch for here defensively, especially with all the guys I just mentioned. I think all of them are going to have big nights. Packers defense has shown. Packers defense is actually really good, believe it or not. I love what I'm seeing out of the Packers defense, except for last game against the Vikings. Besides that, I love the way how the Packers defense is balling out. Meanwhile, for the Rams, I think we're just dealing with too many injuries right now. Like literally, like Cooper Kupp's still going to be out. Puka Nacua is going to be out for another. Puka Nacua is going to be out for another month, I believe. If both these two teams were in full strength, I probably do take my guys, to be honest, because I think we have more talent offensively, and we have more guys that we can count on in this matchup. But I think the Rams defense is going to be out there majority of the game. I don't think the Rams defense. I do think they will play tough in the first half, but overall, I think this team is going to be too exhausted to at the point they can't really do anything anymore. I think the Rams offense is going to be really tested in this matchup, playing against a really good Green Bay defense in secondary. And believe me, I wanted to pick the Rams every single week, but this is just another week I can't pick them here. I'll take the Packers 30-20. Take them with the spread at minus 3.5. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised the spread wasn't bigger than what this is right now. But damn, man, it's just unfortunate, man. Like I'm trying to see that one game where I can pick the Rams again. I haven't picked them. I think I only picked the Rams once this year. Even though I'm a Rams fan, I only picked it once. But I got to go with the Packers here. If I'm being completely honest, me trying to win as a pick-and challenge, I got to go with the Packers. I think, like I said, I think the Rams defense has a lot to watch for in this matchup, and the Packers defense has been really good. Meaning, I think Matthew Stafford, even though I was expecting Kyler Williams to have a breakout performance as he should, I think Matthew Stafford is going to have a lot to watch out for in that Packers defense and blitz and their D linemen. So therefore, I'll take the Packers on this one, 30-20. Like I said, I'm expecting the Rams to go down the field and drive a little bit, but at the end of the day, I think the Packers just playing better football. Their defense has been out of their minds. Take the Packers, unfortunately, but hopefully my Rams prove me wrong, man. Rams, please win. We need this win badly. All right, and now we have the Giants taking on the Seattle Seahawks here. Giants are not even coming off a bad performance. Like I know they might have lost. Let me go ahead and double check that. I think they did lose last week. Let me check. Let's see. Did the Giants lose last week? Let me check. Yeah, the Giants did lose to the Cowboys. But here's the thing about the Giants. Like, when we talk about the Seahawks, I know they're coming off of a tough loss too. They're coming off a tough loss in Detroit, which I don't blame because Detroit is a tough place to play in. I actually love what I've been seeing out of the Giants' defense. Like, I know the offense is not capable of really doing anything, and that's basically kind of the reason why I'm taking Seattle here in this game. But when you take a look at this game in general, both of these two defenses has potential to be a really good defense, or a really good defensive team. Giants, I think they really stepped up their defense this week one. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, I love the way how Seattle's defense, and I'm expecting both defensive plays from both these two teams. Seattle, I think they've been a decent defensive team for a long time. Especially since week one, I've been impressed with the week one performances. Even though Seattle's defense did get kicked in last week, but you're playing against a high level Lions offense. This week, Seahawks, you're playing against a team who really doesn't have an offensive identity right now. In the New York Giants, I don't think the Giants, besides Malik Neighbors, I don't think the New York Giants really have an offensive identity. Meanwhile, that's why I think I am taking Seattle to win this game, just simply because 23-16, kind of a lower scoring game, kind of a mediocre score here. I am going to take Seattle with the -6.5 because I am expecting them to bounce back. I do think Seattle is going to be a little bit furious coming off their loss against Detroit, allowing 40 something points. I think Seattle is better than that. I think they've shown that their defense is better than that. They're coming back here at home, even though I really want the Giants to win this game because of the division rival and the way how the NFC West is going right now. But at the end of the day, I got to take the Seahawks here. I think their defense bounced back. I think their offense shown some really good things last week that I think they were good enough to get down the field and drive. Geno Smith looks pretty good. Two running backs look pretty good. DK Metcalf is going to continue to do his thing. And when you take a look at the Giants' defense, even though I do think they're tough and I do think they will make plays, but at the end of the day, I'm taking the Seahawks because I trust their offense more. I trust them to get down the field more. I trust them to score more in these situations. That I just don't think the Giants are going to be able to come down the field on their own and score the football at a high rate for me to take the Giants. But take the Seahawks in this one. -6.5, 23-16. Expect good defensive plays, but I trust the Seahawks more, and that's why I'm rolling with them with this game. All right, let's take a look here at Sunday Night Football. We have the Cowboys at the Steelers. This game was actually one of the hardest games in the week. It didn't get the trickiest game of the week award for me, but this one was actually pretty tricky. It also took me to the last minute to decide on. Steelers coming off their first loss. Cowboys coming off of a win at New York. This one should be a pretty good game as well. This one should be a way closer game than it was last time. I think these two teams met. Dallas has been a little bit uncharacteristic this whole season. The whole defense has not been good. Offense is still trying to find its rhythm a little bit. With this game being in Pittsburgh, I do think that will help the Steelers a lot, with their energy, the way how the fans get them hyped up in the crowd. I'm expecting their defense to play way better than what they did last game. TJ Watt, I believe TJ Watt is going to have a major impact in this game. In defense for the Cowboys, I think they're going to be missing some key components as well. I think Michael Parsons not going to be at this game. I think they're missing too many guys on defense. So look at that offensively. I think we're finally starting to see some life out of this Steelers offense. I think we're really starting to see Justin Fields' mobility, and that's going to be another key in this game. Can Justin Fields get mobility on offense? If he can do that, I have confidence in Pittsburgh. Because even though if Dallas offense does bounce back, which I am kind of expecting them to do, I'm calling them to bounce back because they didn't score 20 points last week, but I think they can get down the field and drive. I think the Steelers can score. I think the Steelers have shown these last 2 weeks that they're capable of getting down the field and scoring at times, which believes me more that I think this game is going to get down to who do you really trust more and who do you really trust on this Sunday Night Football matchup, and that's why I'm going to go with the Steelers, man. I'm taking them 20-17, kind of mediocre scoring here. Expect both defenses to make huge plays. Expecting both offenses to go down the field and score a little bit. But I'll take the Steelers -2.5. I think home field advantage really helps out Pittsburgh here in this matchup. I think they take down Dallas because Dallas, like I said, they have looked a little bit uncharacteristic this season. Meaning, I think Pittsburgh is going to take advantage of Dallas' mistakes. I think this game is going to come down to I think this game is really going to come down to field goals and turnovers. Because I think those two is going to be the really key opponents in this game. And I trust Mike Tomlin. I trust the Steelers more in this matchup. With this, like I said, with this game being at home on Sunday night in your own turf, I like the Steelers in this matchup. Steelers, I don't think the Steelers really lose too many primetime games either. So if the Dallas was playing Dallas like we saw like the recent years, I'd probably go with the Cowboys, and to be completely honest with this game. But I like the Steelers. I like the Steelers a lot. I like them Sunday football. We saw agility from their offense. Like I'm expecting field goals, kicks, turnovers, like the little stuff to be a huge key factors in this game. But there you go. Steelers win 20-17. Take Pittsburgh minus 2.5, and this should be a pretty interesting Monday night game. I'm saying not the best Monday night game out there. No, there's definitely a lot of options out there Sunday night. Not the best, but I like this Sunday night football game a lot. I think this game's gonna come down to who does the little stuff better. All right, ending off here, we have Monday Night Football. We have the Saints taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think we all know you can take a look at the Chiefs and say they have not been themselves at all. I mean, but the Chiefs are dealing with injuries themselves. You know, Rashid Rice is going to be out for this game. Isaiah Pacheco, he's been out since last week. Look at the Saints in general. The Saints have been a little bit uncharacteristic too, especially coming off their two offensive explosions. Saints took another loss to Atlanta this week. Chiefs just continue to find ways to win football games. They got it. They got the job done against at the Chargers for this one. But expect this one to be a good game as well. Saints can definitely put up a fight. We've seen what they can do offensively, especially the first 2 games of the season. Now I know the other 2 games of the season they have not really looked as fast, as complete, as competitive on offense, but I have faith in the Saints still. I still think they'll put some great plays on defensively, and I do think the Saints will go down the field and score at times, and I'm expecting both defenses to make great plays on this one too, but it's just unfortunate. I know we match lock the Chiefs every single show. If you guys haven't joined us for Tuesday's live reaction shows, make sure you guys go check that out. It's a lot of fun. But look at this game in general. It's the Chiefs. You know what I mean? I think the Chiefs win this game 24-21. I am comfortable about New Orleans with this spread pick here. Plus 5.5. I'm comfortable about that. I do think the Saints do cover the spread. I like that a lot. I think the Saints can keep this more competitive than a 5-point game. But I will take the Chiefs on this one, 24-21. They just continue to find ways to win. Like I said, Chiefs, they might not play the most prettiest football. They might not play the best football. But one thing the Chiefs do really well, and it's unfortunate too, is they find ways to win football games, no matter who they have on the roster. And unfortunately, I just think it's going to happen here. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Saints win this game. But at the end of the day, I trust the Chiefs more and just their ability to win the game. But not really expecting anyone here to really have a particular game or really a breakout game. But I am expecting the Chiefs to be the Chiefs and that's finding ways to win football games no matter who's on the roster. And it's unfortunate too. Alright guys, and that's going to do it for week 5 analytics predictions. If you guys haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe button for me. Make sure you guys join the Discord so you guys don't miss a damn thing here on the channel. And I'm going to quickly get this hop off and get this thing at us so you guys can quickly watch no time before Thursday Night Football. We really do appreciate y'all's support. This is BB signing off from NationNation.com. Peace out, stay safe. See y'all for week 6.